Hey moms, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing this cute little natural ponytail style on my biracial client. I'm going to show you guys how to complete this look with no tears. That's right, no tears. So stay tuned, moms. Alright, so first things first, we got to get this ratted bun down. So as you can see, it's very frizzy. It's a little matted. It's been up for a little minute. We can see that. So first things first is getting this hair tie out. You know, sometimes even this can be a struggle and a very daunting task. As a mom, it's like, oh, I don't even feel like fighting with her hair today. So that's step one. Before I begin the detangling process, I am going to spray her down with some of my favorite leave-in detangler, the Mazzani 25-in-1, and I'll have the link in the description box below so you guys can grab you a bottle. But I love this stuff because it helps so much with detangling. Moms, you never want to detangle dry hair. Never detangle dry hair. Always damp it with something because it breaks those hydrogen bonds down and makes the hair easier to separate and curls and mats to get loose. So never detangle dry hair. So I'm going to just go through and detangle with my fingers first to try to break up the bigger mats. And then I'm going to use my unbrush, which is also going to be linked in the description box, to start working my way from the ends of the hair and then working my way up the hair shaft. So always start at the ends of the hair. So detangle those curls on the tips first. Then I'm going to use my hands a little bit more. My client gave me a little snack. I'm going to use my hands a little bit more to break up the bigger sections and then continue to detangle with my unbrush. All right, moms, I did want to point out, do you see how I'm holding the hair in between my hands and like combing the ends, well, detangling the ends of the hair? This way, I'm not pulling on her scalp so much. I'm not putting so much tension and pressure on the hair coming directly from her scalp. I like to hold it in between my thumb and my index finger to relieve some pressure from her so she doesn't feel me tugging and detangling as much. This will definitely help if you have a baby girl who always cries when you detangle her hair, or her head is always bobbing and weaving from you pulling as you detangle. Try this method. Hold it between your thumb and index finger like I'm doing here, or even you can just grab it like a fist and work your way from the ends all the way up until you get closer to her scalp, because we want to make this process like as tear-free as possible. And her mom did tell me that she usually cries when she gets her hair done. This is her very first time at the salon, and she did not cry one time. I wish I could have got it on camera when she admitted, "Mom, I haven't even cried." Like, I was so glad about this. So make sure you guys try this method and see how it works for you. All right, let's move on to the shampoo. So first, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Make sure that you rinse the hair really, really good before you add any shampoo to the hair. We want to rinse any oils, dirt, debris, whatever may be built up in the hair that can come out with just water. We're going to do that first. So make sure you rinse the hair thoroughly for maybe about 2 minutes before you add 1 drop of shampoo. Okay, moms? All right, so I'm just rinsing her here. And then as I'm shampooing, I'm going to be doing long stroking motions with my hands, kind of detangling as I'm shampooing. So make sure you pay attention to that, because we don't want to ruffle the hair up. We don't want to mat it up by just shampooing the hair all wild. We want to detangle as we're shampooing. So watch how I use my hands to stroke through the hair and kind of finger comb as I'm shampooing. For the shampoo, I'm going to be using the Design Essential Almond Avocado Shampoo. All right, so I'm going to take the Almond Avocado Conditioner, and I'm very liberal with the conditioner. I don't hold back, so I use as much as you like, okay, because I'm heavy-handed with it. I love conditioner, especially with little kids because they hate detangling, so I want to make that easy as possible. So I'm going to take the conditioner, rub it through her hair in the long stroking motions. More so focused on the ends of her hair in the mid shaft down, not so much on her scalp. I'm gonna separate the bigger mats with my hands first and then take my unbrush the same way I did before we shampooed and detangle, starting from the ends, holding that hair between my index finger and my thumb and combing. Alright, so now I'm going to get started on her style. So I'm just going to section her hair off in 2 halves, kind of like I'm doing a half up, half down, just from right behind her ear across her head all the way to the other side, and just going to clip that back off to keep it out of my way as I do her connects at the front. Some people call them connects, some people may call them I don't know what you call them. Put them in the comment box below. Tell me what you call the connects. I call them connects, where you just make the little squares and connect them with the rubber bands. But what y'all like to call them? I'm from Memphis, so you know, depending on what region you from, the name may be different. Alright, so I'm going to take a little shine and jam and use it throughout the styling process just to make sure that everything is smooth and neat. I like to use my rat tail comb as well, just to make sure everything is smoothed out and as neat and uniform looking as possible. I also like to use my shine and jam to help me with clean parts, as well as smoothing any flyaways and just allowing for a super neat hairstyle. Like, sometimes we can see where people have their hair freshly styled, but it doesn't look done, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have that neat, fresh, clean look to it, even though it's just done. And the shine and jam really does allow you to have really neat finished looks. It gets rid of all the flyaways and the frizz, and everything just looks shiny and smooth. So I love to use shine and jam for that reason. As you can see, one thing I don't play about is my parting. These parts gonna be crisp. If ain't nothing else right about it. The parts is gonna be parting, okay? They gonna give exactly what they need to have gave. Alright, so I'm going to start sectioning off my very first square of the middle section. So it's more so of a rectangle than a square, but y'all know what I mean. So I don't want it to be too big, like too wide, because she wants it to look a certain way. She had a picture, so she had a vision for it. I didn't want to just do 2 big rectangles in the middle and connect those. She wanted 3. So I made sure that I sectioned the middle part off into 3 rectangles that are like similar in width, so everything can look uniform. So I didn't do them too wide because you want all of them to be similar to the same size. So now that I've sectioned off that second rectangle, I'm just going to take the hair that's left hanging from the first rectangle and wrap it in the rubber band with the second section of hair. And I like to kind of loosen them up just a little bit. You see how I'm pulling those rubber bands in opposite directions? Sometimes when you do connects, they can pull too tightly, and I don't want her to end up having any tension bumps or possibly cause thinning edges in the long run from all of the tension. So I like to loosen those rubber bands up just a little bit because we don't want any irritation, hair loss, or anything like that. So be careful with how tight you're pulling the rubber bands. Alright, I took my unbrush and brushed all the hair up to the top of her head, and then I followed it up with some more Shining Jam so we can make sure that everything is smoothed out and all the hairs are aligned and going in the right direction. I'm using my fine tooth comb now just to smooth everything out because we want everything looking like perfection. Nothing is perfect, but we can get it close to it, okay? So I like to use my fine tooth comb just to make sure everything is smooth and nice and crispy looking. Now I'm going to take some Big Papa gel and just use it to do a couple twists in her ponytail because her mom doesn't want to leave the hair loose and hanging because her hair is so prone to tangling. And as you can see, I've had to detangle it several times throughout the hair process because it just tangles right back up. So we're not going to leave it just loose and hanging. We don't want it to be matted. So we decided to go with a couple twists that's going to turn out to be super cute. I will link in my description box a link for the Big Papa because you know that's my favorite. Dupe products are always my go-to. I'll suggest those to anybody. They're amazing products. Shout out to Maya, she's awesome. This is the finished look. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll be happy to help you guys out. But she is all ready to go for Easter. I added a few clamps just for a little razzle dazzle. Make sure you subscribe.